Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all had a wonderful and very blessed Christmas. I did. It was really nice. And now it's time for the new year. I cannot believe we're already nearing 2019. It's just insane. Like, this was such a short year, it seems. But anyway, today I am going to show you this that I made, and it's very different from anything I've made so far, and I really wanted to try and make some things with, I've done like the little clip ring binding, but I wanted to do something with the jute, and I've just been inspired by so many people. I mean, there's just so many people who have done this type of binding, and this isn't really a, well, I guess it could be, but it's not exactly a journaling journal. I suppose it's more of a mixed media slash lookbook, memory book type of thing, but of course I've added in some journaling areas just in case the sweet lady that's going to be receiving this wants to write in it or do some memory keeping or something. So it's, I don't know, would you call that a soft cover? It's just paper, the front and the back, and of course it's got the tied jute binding, and I did double knot it, but it's the thick jute, so she will be able to expand it if she chooses to. And I guess the theme is, I wanted to try this out. I know this is something she loves, and myself as well, so I wanted to try it out for her because this is a gift. It's steampunk nature themed, so the cover I've just layered cheesecloth and vintage, like a vintage applique. This is a die cut, and then a rose that I've inked up, and then just all sorts of metals. I'll let you have a gander. There's some, this gray is a vintage trim, and then coffee dyed, some other coffee dyed trims. And so that's the cover. I really love how it turned out. I think I'm getting the hang of this steampunk thing. And so the closure is this, I forget what these are called, but it's the little thing that you stick through the hole and it comes out, and it's a leaf. And I had a time trying to figure out how to attach this to the book because I'd already layered on the back side of this page, but I figured it out. It's basically like a button, and then hanging from that is this charm that I've made. It's got a real butterfly wing and some gold leaf in the background, and then I added a little charm that says made with love. And so let's hop inside of this. So on the first page there is a vintage doily that I've inked up a bit. I've made, I've used this leaf trim throughout, different sizes, and then I've also, these are strips left over from the tea bags that I like to use to make envelopes and pockets, and so I ruffled it up and I've made a few of those. Sorry, I know the lighting is kind of bad. Lots of layered flowers and metal pieces, and basically what I've done is I've stuffed this with handmade items and vintage items. So there's a bunch of vintage postcards. This is my note to her, and then this is something I've had around for a while. It's just a book page gessoed and decoupaged. Just got a little clip on there. And then on this page we have just, this is like construction masking paper that my husband, he brought me a huge roll home, so I've been using that up and it's really fun. There's some stamping and layering with the gold leaf, and I used Kaisercraft, I believe it's anthropology or something like that. I used a lot of pieces from that collection, and so there's just tons of layering in here. Different papers from different paper pads. This is a large pocket here. I've got some hand-dyed seam binding, vintage lace here, and then there is this metal feather charm, a little tag, and then this is another of the charms that I made. It's just got some little leaves and again the gold leaf. And tucked inside of here, just a little handmade file folder journaling card. This is a pocket with a handmade tag inside. And then I've got a tea bag here with just some coffee dyed tickets in it. And then this is one of my tea bag envelopes. I've done some layering coffee dyed stuffs, and inside is 2 feathers and this vintage milk cap that I got at the flea market. And they're really cool, so I wanted to share one. And then I've used some Tim Holtz paper as well, and on these pages with the grid I kind of left more blank so that she could write in here if she wanted. This is coffee dyed. This is vintage muslin that I coffee dyed and just did a little ruffle, little stamped out label from Liezl. Hi Liezl. I've also throughout on a couple of the pages I've added this real piece of a branch, and I've glued that on so it won't come off. And I've also used a couple of, I believe these are maple leaves, I want to say. So this is an envelope, and I've just layered a little collage on the front with a leaf, and tucked inside is little Dewey Decimal card, and this is some vintage rice paper stuff. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but I think it has something to do with tea sittings. So that's in there, and then we've got more layering here on this beautiful paper, little tag hanging from here, and this can be used as a tuck spot right here. Lots of layering, lots of metal pieces. And then on this page I've used the CD envelope that I got from Liezl. Thank you so much, Liezl, for these, and I've just layered on all kinds of things, all kinds of fun stuff. And then this is coffee dyed paper from my Shakespeare book, and tucked inside of here there's a journaling card with a tab and a gessoed on the back. And then this is just a little booklet with some coffee dyed muslin. It's just little lined papers in there. And then here's a smaller page. It's the same paper as the cover, and I've tucked inside an old I think this is Swedish page from a book, and then got an altered bag here, done some texture paste, some stamping, and inside is just a handmade tag. I think this is from Dolly. No, it's not from Dolly. The stamps were from Dolly that she gifted to me, and then some more coffee dyed paper. And then we've got a vintage doily and more of the ruffled tea bags. I really like working with the tea bags. And then I've got a couple of these little envelopes in here. I've just stamped little bugs on the front, and then this one is a couple of little cigar labels. Thought those would be pretty fun to play around with. And then on this page, just more layering, different elements, and then some gold leaf. I had a lot of fun working with the gold leaf. I think it's really beautiful. And the same on the other side, and then the masking paper. And then this is like a design chipboard type deal. We've got a pocket here with more of the vintage muslin, more Shakespeare, some more collaging. There's just a journaling card that she can write on or add a photo, some more coffee dyed paper, and then a little pocket here with a handmade tag and some extra writing paper. And then on this one, I didn't want to cover up, it's kind of floppy. I didn't want to cover up this paper too much because it's so gorgeous. So I added like a die cut here, feather, layered another one of those leaves and gears and stuff on the cheesecloth. And then this is just a little envelope with a tuck spot behind it. It's a handmade tag. And I just added some washi. Let's see if I can get this open without tearing it. Here we go. And inside is a little Tim Holtz journaling card. And then these are some vintage tickets. Well, not too vintage, but 1954. They're little ticket stubs from payments. I thought they were really fun. I forgot that I had some of that stuff. It was tucked away in like a little envelope. Once again, the gridded paper, and then I've just layered a little flag here. This is some hand embroidered linen, some coffee dyed muslin, and then I stamped underneath. It's like a little surprise. And then on this side, I've just embossed this butterfly stamp. I've added another branch and a gear. I had so much fun layering this stuff. It was so fun. Here's some lace, more muslin, and I've just clipped this little tag here and charm. This is an embellished piece of craft stock, and I inked it up, added the ruffle here, and then on the inside I layered a piece of the coffee dyed Shakespeare paper, and then I gessoed on it so she could write, and inked it up. Here's another vintage postcard, so pretty. And then some more Swedish book pages she can just use to play around with. On this side, I've got another of the craft bags that I altered, more texture paste, and there is a tuck behind it, and I've just added this scrap piece from the Tim Holtz paper. And inside of this bag, I've just added a bunch of stamped pieces from this cute steampunk stamp set that I have, and that way she can use these for whatever she wants. And then if I can get them out, there's also some pieces in here that I fussy cut for her. Cute little goggle hats, little light bulb, some bird cages, and a record player. Super cute. I think she'll really like those. And then I just tucked them all in there, so that way she can just take them out, and then she'll be able to use this to store some photographs or what have you. And then I've got this little writing page here, and I've added some feathers to this side and more of the ruffled muslin on this side. And then this page I left kind of blank as well because I thought that the feathers were so pretty. So maybe she can add like a photo here, and then I added this label that I stamped out, and then this is a repurposed clothing tag, and so I've just covered it with stamped and coffee dyed paper, and then on the front I embossed this clock here and added this little metal bird. I think it's so cute. And then I added one of my brass bells on here, and then this is the last little leaf charm that I made. And then on the opposite side, another like gridded page, and so I left that blank for writing. I've added one of Liezl's labels and done more layering. How pretty is the gold leaf? Oh my goodness. More gold leaf on this side, and a little birdie, and this this tiny leaf trim I didn't buy from anywhere. Well, I kind of did. At the flea market some time ago, I got a bag of like beads and stuff, and inside were like these two headbands, and this leaf trim was like braided with some leather like string, and so I just took it apart, and I wish I could find some tiny ones like this. This is, I just I hooked a little Tim Holtz paper clip onto it, and it's hard to see. Come on, zoom. And, okay, there we go. And then I've added one of these vintage vocabulary cards, and I think it's French, of course. And so I kind of just tucked it underneath here and clipped it on so it would stay pretty well. another gear here. Okay, and then on the back side, I've used some old like fabric. I think it was the bottom of a dress, and I made a big giant pocket with a flower, another little tag from Liezl, and a die cut. And then tucked into this pocket, got it glued a little bit there, there's a vintage bingo card. And then this is a huge playing card that I altered a little bit, and I thought that maybe she could do something really fun with it because she's such a creative person. So I've sanded the back, and then I've layered on this Tim Holtz tissue paper. And then this is the last vintage postcard. This one's really old. So cool. And then there is this. This is a half of an envelope, one of those long ones. And so I cut it in half, I sewed it together, and then I layered on some stenciling and also some texture paste with the this pretty rose stencil. And then I got it clipped closed, and this is the other little blasting envelope, and inside is just a ton of vintage stamps. And then inside, another handmade tag, and then I thought this was cool, a stranger sees me. Ooh, a lost girl. I stamped it, dated it, and signed, and then just some extra writing paper. And then I've also thrown in for her 2 of these rings, just in case she decides that maybe she doesn't really care for the jute, or, you know, what if it tears or something like that. So that way she'll have the rings to hold on to just in case she does need them at some point in time. And this is the last page. Got some embossing and more collaging, and then more of this what's it called? That paper, and then the Shakespeare book. This is a really long stamp too. It's a darkroom door stamp, and I love it so much. And then the closure is just an eyelet here, and this beautiful like chain link charms. And I did attach it in a way so that she's got about an inch extra of room so she can expand it as it grows and as she adds things. And then the back, I've just layered two sheets of scrapbooking paper so that it's nice and sturdy. This is from the Kaiser Craft collection as well. So that is my little, I don't know, what would you call this, like a lookbook? I suppose, something like a lookbook, I guess. I just really wanted to kind of be more free and make something fun to look at, and I also wanted to add plenty of storage too. And I have a lot of fun working with this theme. There's so much that you can do, and this isn't like exactly what I envisioned for steampunk nature, but it's pretty close, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, especially the cover, because it took me so long to figure out what I wanted to do with this design here. But yeah, anyway, that is my little steampunk nature mixed media lookbook. And I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a very, very happy new year. And I will catch you next time. So until then, spread the love and take care of yourselves. Bye!